Everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Docu Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, which can be spicy, it could be salty, it could be sweet, and at the end of the day, again, even more sweet. Yay!
Yay!
Hi!
Hello. So today we're talking American Nightmare Part 3, The Others.
Yeah.
That's a dumb title. What does that mean?
Yes. Well, the first one was the boyfriend, and that made sense because it was all from his point of view. Then the second one was Gone Girl, which made sense because it was her point of view, and specifically she was gone and she's a girl, and of course there's a movie. And this one, The Others, we find out, I guess, that
That
there's other people involved.
or
And we'll
that
get to the other people involved. Yeah, this kind of like fans out from a two-person story to like suddenly more people. It's an ensemble hellhole. But part three, The Others. Yeah. So
Yeah.
obviously we pick up on part two, this phone call, a phone call desperate from a woman who says that an intruder is fighting with her husband outside, and we're we, having watched the other two episodes, know that only previously the police had gotten, and or this reporter had gotten communication that because they did not believe Denise Huskins, because Denise Huskins was being portrayed as a perpetrator and not a victim, they were going to prove that she didn't do it by doing it again. So then we get this phone call by a desperate mom who's like, an intruder's outside, my husband is outside, they're fighting or whatever. And then this we pick up. We find out that they have a daughter in there, and the husband's outside. Suddenly the husband comes back and he's like, he's gone. And we figure out that the husband fucking fought this person off.
Yeah.
We're like, yes.
Wait, I'm gonna tell you right now. Here's what it is. The
Tell me.
wife
Go ahead.
did not
Mhm.
even sound like she was worried. The wife was like, "Hello, I'd like to tell you that my husband is outside kicking his motherfucking ass, but you can send the police if you like to scrape his bloody entrails off the street." Yeah.
I at this point I'm like, I want everyone to have a ring alarm. I want to see the footage so bad of this, like what I feel like Asian man of some kind, maybe, or at least the wife is definitely, like just
Going
letting him
ham.
fucking have
He
it. You know?
got a kitchen knife and he was going to kill him. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I feel like it was like, yeah, she was like, "Hello, my husband is out." Yeah, it was definitely very much. She was like, "Don't worry, he got it, but y'all can come if you need to." Yeah, that's how it felt to me. But it was a 22-year-old daughter who was Matthew Mueller had the audacity to attempt to abduct that person, and it felt like he was going to tie up the parents and rape the daughter. He was ballsy.
We don't know who Michael Mueller is yet.
Oh shit. These men are going to do this thing.
Okay, yeah.
I blew the thing.
No, it's okay. So
you guys already watched it. You're fine. So anyways,
yeah,
so
I mean,
then,
obviously, you're not like, what?
So then this guy, so then we have this is so at the beginning of this one, then we have the police are at her house, right? The police are at the house, and the 22-year-old is like, hey, Popos, there's a cell phone on the cabinet. It's not ours. I think he left his phone. What a fucking idiot.
The dumbest
Dumbest.
He wanted
to, right?
He wanted
left
to be
his
found.
personal device, not a burner phone. He took his personal device. This tapping is me tapping my phone case. He took his personal device. He took his phone that's in his mama's name. Okay? He took the phone that's in his mama's name.
If you don't have kids, but you have an iPhone, there is nothing more baby-like in your life than your iPhone.
I mean,
everywhere you go, make sure it's there. If it's not there, you get fucking paranoid, pissed. This, and this motherfucker leaves it. So this is my favorite part. Yeah. So then my favorite part. Okay. So then the police are like, okay, but that's weird. They look at who it is and they go to his mama's house, okay, or his house, or his mom, whatever who lives this, whatever who we don't know, if it's a closet mama, whatever. This woman comes, okay, answers the door. They're like, "Hi, hey, we have this phone of your son. What's happening? Where's your son?" She's like,
"Oh, that's my son's number. That's not you're calling my son's phone. I know that number. No,
I
he's
thought they
not.
went in real life.
No,
I thought
they
they
just
were
called
there.
it. They just called it.
Oh,
They were like,
oh.
I know it's my son's phone. Oh, he's not with me right now. He actually lives in my cabin in South Lake
How could they
Tahoe.
call? They called the mom, you mean?
No, so what they did is they went to the service like T-Mobile, and then they were like, "Who owns this phone?" So then they called that person, and they were like, "Hey, do you know
No, that's not what happened, babe. That makes no sense. They had the phone. They go to the mom's house, his house. The mom's there.
Okay,
That's when
girl,
they see her.
that's fine.
That's what
That's fine.
happened. So,
Okay,
okay.
I just watched
I
it, but
mean, I
that's
love you.
fine. I just watched
What?
it with my eyeballs. It's fine though. It's fine. It's chill. It's chill. You're right. I just watched it, but it's okay.
God bless. Anyway, so you could be right, but I just remember this part, like, because he's
Oh, I
like,
could be, even though I just watched it.
no, I guess it was my favorite part. That's the only reason why I thought it was the only part that I remembered so much of. So maybe I'm wrong or whatever. But to me, he was like, they were just so shocked. They were like, so we go there. And to me, they were like, she's just like, that's my phone. Oh, he's in. But I got
That
like.
conversation did happen. It just happened over the phone. They pretended like it was just nothing,
So
and
why
then
would they
she
call the phone that they already own, and why wouldn't the phone ring? That's why I'm confused.
no. So they called the service provider, like
Uh huh.
Verizon,
Yes.
and Verizon told them it belongs to Mary Muller. So they called Mary Muller, and they
Got
were
it.
like,
Thank you.
hey, Mary Muller," and she was like, "Oh, I know that number. That's my son's phone though."
Got
And
it.
they were like, "Where's your son, Mary?" And she's like, "Oh, he lives at my cabin in South Lake Tahoe." And
Mm,
so they were like, "Shit, we got to get to South Lake Tahoe before she finds some way, I don't know, but via Facebook to tell him, someone called me and they got your phone." And so the police officer contacts Misty and was like, "Misty girl, this is your first time doing something? Come on with us. You want to go?" And Misty's like, "Hell yeah, I want to go." So they
Misty. Yes, honey. My fave and yours, honey. What a hero. Yeah. A hero comes along. Her name is Misty. Play Misty for me. It's Misty. Misty has, I'll be honest, a tight ponytail and but really, really, really big heart. And she
Mhm,
comes in and with fresh eyes and fresh pair of ovaries and just
mhm,
really like turns these motherfuckers out.
mhm,
She's just
mhm,
like, she comes into this space and she's like, all right, I'm I'm gonna pick up where all you assholes like are blind. And then they again they talk about this thing where like the police just started to make decisions and assumptions and then there was no other way. And maybe like the as they're all like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. And then also the decision is if she's lying, they have to do absolutely no work. It's the laziest choice possible, you know? Like if Denise Huskins is lying, then they don't have to find who raped her.
mhm.
There's no rapist.
Correct.
It's just like anyway, the side note is because I'm watching True Detective, I'm already high up on a lady cop, like loving, because Jodie Foster is killing it with this new, I forgot the lady, but is playing, she's opposite. There's two lady cops and they're so good. And I just feel like, yeah, boss bitches.
Mhm,
Anyway,
mhm.
so they're like, oh, it's to go to the Lake Tahoe cabin, which by the way, Lake Tahoe is gorgeous. Okay. And guess what? They come outside. Guess what it smells like there? Pine.
Fine. Is there
Guess
a
what's all
difference
around?
between
What?
South Lake Tahoe and Lake Tahoe?
Yes. Well, there's like one part of Lake Tahoe is in Nevada, one part of Lake Tahoe is in
Oh,
California.
okay. I was like, why do they keep saying South Lake Tahoe? Is it all not just Lake Tahoe? Great. Thank you for
Yeah,
explaining.
that's good. So basically they go to the cabs and he's there. Like
Mhm,
and he is relaxed. They just take him down. It's not a
mhm,
big thing. Okay?
mhm,
But they go through that thing, guess what? They find all of it. They find
mhm,
obviously a pine smelling situation. They find a white Mustang. They
mhm,
find zip ties. They find
mhm,
the weird, they find everything,
mhm,
all of
mhm,
it.
mhm,
Which is so annoying because like even the weird gun that has like a laser thing, uh the goggles, when they find the goggles though, and this is our heroine Misty coming along, she spots one strand of blonde ass hair. Blonde, Rapunzel blonde, honey, golden blonde, like weaves, like I'm saying, blonde hair. And she's
mhm,
like, who the fuck's hair is that?
Mhm,
As they go to the
mhm,
cabin, the other guy's there too. The other cop, who's like a good guy cop, they're like, this shit. First of all, smells really musty, and B, they're walking around. There's like a disgusting one bedroom with like a mattress. They're like, some shit went down here. No, I
mhm,
don't like it.
mhm,
No, there's
mhm,
there's really bad juju in here. There's not enough sage
mhm,
in the world to fucking get the
mhm,
fuck out of this cabin. It's disgusting.
mhm.
So having found all that stuff, and then obviously that stuff isn't great and sound, and it's like, what the fuck were you doing? And of course, they go into this is another crazy creepy part. They go to the fucking white Mustang. I don't know why I'm cursing so much. The white Mustang's trunk has a duffel bag with what looks like, and they showed it to us, it looks like a human torso, but upon further inspection, it's a blow up doll, real sex doll, that is shoved into this person's trunk because this person has such deep psychological, deviant sexual behavior that there is some part of this person that obviously can't get off without trauma and power involved and fear and terror in the eyes of someone, and yet also sometimes is is taken down by human emotion too. It makes no fun. I mean, it makes, I guess, sense, but also it's horrifying. So this is all just the worst find possible, but then also gives Misty a little fire to fucking find out whose hair that is.
Yeah. So now we find out the mystery of why everyone thinks that they are kidnapping people. It's because he has a blow up doll that he must put in the car next to him so that people think that it's more than one person besides him. That's what I was thinking the blow up doll is, because the blow up doll has a man's face on it. He like put a mask of a man's face on the blow up doll. He also finds in the car is an address to a Huntington Beach location. So that also equates him driving her down to Huntington Beach. There are like, it's just so interesting. This house looks like the beginning stages of a hoarder house. Now, they've already looked him up, so they know that he has charges for attempted rape, and they know that he already has like situations like from his past, right? They find out that he is a former Marine. He's a Harvard grad. Like, so he's not a dummy. He's already like a smart guy. And so it's just like this weird situation. So we
Yeah.
then cut to back to Denise. Denise and Aaron are going through it. They are getting death threats. Facebook shit is happening to them.
Yeah.
As I said in the last episode, we find out that David Sesma, who is the FBI agent who is on their case, is actually Andrea's ex. And so at this point, they're like, oh, this is why this case isn't going anywhere, because he should not be on the case. Like, this is a conflict of interest. And so the lawyer, Doug, he reaches out to the inspector general and he's like, hey, this person should not be on the case. This is why this is not going well for us. And they're like, we don't think that it's problematic at all. So I think everything is being done correct in this case. A
And
bunch
we're
of
also like,
liars.
where the fuck's Andrea? Where's Andrea? We have some questions. Where's Andrea? What was that guy like in bed, Andrea? Also, what the fuck's happening with you, Andrea? Okay.
Yeah,
How could this
Andrea.
person, could you imagine Denise is surrounded by her. I can't even. I'm surrounded
Yeah,
by Andrea, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Anyway.
So, then Misty starts to do a little research. She's like, whose blonde hair is this? Because this creepo, he has done this before. And does he have a person buried on his property?
Mhm.
Has he killed somebody? Has he done some things? Thank you, Lord. Has he done some stuff? The answer is yes. And so Misty is trying to figure out who this blonde hair belongs to. So she's now doing some digging and she's trying to go into all of the other past cases of Matthew Moeller. And so she realizes that he lived in another place called Mare Island. And in Mare Island, there was this situation where there was a peeping Tom who was going around and doing stuff. And she runs into another person who was assaulted by Matthew Mueller. And so she starts to realize and put things together. She's like, okay, so the peeping Tom, that was Matthew Mueller. Matthew Mueller was the Mare Island creeper. Oh my God, Matthew Mueller almost assaulted this girl, but she begged him not to. And so he stopped, but he put goggles over her face too. Like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
That part though. So one part he almost takes down a woman and the woman's like, "Please don't. I've already been raped." And he's like pauses for a long time and is like, "I can't traumatize you again." Which thank God, but also the idea that a person that is committing such horrible crimes would have any sort of moral compass at all to be triggered and or to be like it's crazy to me. Like like that's wild.
Yeah, it makes you, yeah.
Like I remember this is horrible, but as a female, like I remember this. I've thought about like what would I do like in such a situation, and I remember when I was really young, like when I was in high school, like, and this is whatever asinine now. At the time, I was like, I'll just tell him I have AIDS. I thought that if I was in high school, this is a dumb thing, but I'm just being honest. I was much young. I thought that if someone tried to rape me, I'd just scream that I had AIDS. It's the 90s. That this person would be like, oh, okay, cool. Never mind.
I mean, listen, that's not as a 15-year-old, that is a great idea. As a 15-year-old in 97, I can't fault you for that. Okay.
It's just like the idea of what girl, like, like I can't
I always
imagine
thought
having
to
to bargain at
myself
all.
that I
They
would
talk about the
just,
bargaining thing. Ugh.
yeah, I would I bargain? I think that I would just like be like I always thought that I would do is just make them feel disgusted. Like I would say mean things to them, like "Ew, you're so gross." Like it would just be something like that. But the truth is, like, what would I do? I don't know. Just be like, ugh. The first time that
I'd be like,
somebody
please, I'll
attempted
give
to,
you. I don't know.
the first time somebody attempted to have sex with me, and I say that because that's what it was. He was attempting to have sex with me, and like he just kissed me so aggressively, and it was just, like all over my face, and I was like, and it was in my best friend's backyard, and I was like, oh, thank God I'm gonna lose my virginity. I just wanted to lose it, so I was like,
Got it done. Got it done.
so done. I didn't lose it there because he was trying to do it standing up. It was weird. But anyways,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, so moving on. Misty then calls the police because she knows that Matthew Mueller is the Mare Island creeper. And she has now kind of linked the two together. She believes that these two things are linked together. She knows that it has something to do with Denise Huskins because she has found a picture of Denise on the social medias, in the media, having to do with a young woman who was kidnapped for 48 hours. And based on what she said happened, she's like, oh my God, I think this might be a victim of Mueller. So she's on the phone with the police. I mean, just like hours, what it seems like. This montage, I mean, this woman is washing clothes. She's making cereal. She's
I
at the
love this
European
montage.
market. She's doing all kinds of stuff, showing she's driving down the street. She's at her desk. She's calling people. And then finally she gets in touch with somebody and they're like, oh, we already gave that over to the police. I mean, to the FBI. Call David Sesma. So she calls David Sesma, and David Sesma, as with we see it all the time on on cop shows on TV, that when the police bring in the FBI just comes in and takes over the case and doesn't include the local police, which is kind of basically what happened, except for they actually called them into the police station. But they were like, yeah, just give us what you got and we'll keep you informed. So they call David Sesma and his folks over to the Dublin, California police station. They go in, they have a conversation with them, and they show them the zip ties. They show them the duct tape. But then when they show them the gun, the fake gun with the flashlight attached to it, that's when the FBI's interest is piqued. They're like, And then when they show them the goggles, that's when the FBI is shooketh. That is when their whole world is shattered and they feel like fools, and they were like, oh shit, we done fucked it up. This woman had told it us, and there's a piece of her on this, and I bet you if we run that test, it's gonna turn out to be her. And then they're like, and we got a fucking white Mustang with a Huntington Beach address in it. And so they run all the shit. But first, Misty's like, you thought this was a hoax? And David Sesma's like, we never said it was a hoax. And I wanted Misty to be like, well, y'all show was acting like it was. weren't you? Show was. Anyways, so then the news outlets let's pick it
Wait, could
up.
I say something? I want you
Yeah.
to be I want you to be a cop in a movie or something like this. I would love this. This is a great character for you. And I just like, can you be a sassy cop that just like comes in and just like, gets you can just like solve crimes and just like make people feel dumb. That's fine. I would like it. Okay. This is great for me. This is not at all what Misty sounds like. No,
You
this
show
is
was
like
acting like it. That's how I am. I feel like maybe that's how I am at work. When people ask me questions, I'm like, no. What did I tell you last time when you asked me that same question? No. Great. It's
oh,
still
you're a nightmare. So
oh,
you're a
I'm a
nightmare.
yeah. Yeah. We're all adults here.
Ah!
You get an adult ass answer. People are like, "Oh, you wouldn't be." Somebody once told me that like they couldn't imagine if I had kids because I would be so mean or something like that. And I was like, "Why?" And they were like, "Well, you see how you talk to people." And I was like, "Oh no, you see how I talk to adults, full-fledged adults? Yeah,
Well,
but you don't see how I talk to children." Anyways, those are two different
okay.
things. Anywho, so then the news outlets pick it up and they're like, it's not a hoax. Denise Haskins, blah, 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 blah. So a lot of people are eating crow right now. And Denise actually sees his face for the first time on TV. So she has to like deal with that. And then all of a sudden,
Poor
her and her
thing.
lawyer go in. Law enforcement did very little to help them. Then they have to go through and prove how they were negligent, how Aaron's point of view when it comes to the polygraph results, he's like, that man sat in front of me and told me to my face that I had not passed the polygraph. When I was like, that's not exactly what he said.
I agree. So yeah, great point. Great point. Yeah. Yes, 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 yes. And they show it and they show us so we get to hear.
He said, there's no question in my mind that you failed this test. There's no
Yes.
question in my mind that you failed this test.
It's a fucked up semantics thing.
Yes. The polygraph shows unknown results, is what it said.
Yeah.
And that man, after several hours and sleep deprivation, and you're in this little white room, said something to you that led you to believe that he read the results and it said you were guilty. But that's not what he said. So,
oh, God, it's
yeah.
so fucked up. It's so fucked
terrible.
up. So, yeah, I know.
It's terrible. And like I said in episode 1, the police are not your friend. The police are not your friend. They're not.
Yeah.
Once they get you in that interrogation room, they're not your friends.
Yeah,
So-
I'll have a lawyer involved,
Yes.
like if you can. And that's a privilege in itself. But like if
Yeah.
you can, get a lawyer involved because you need
Yes.
someone that understands the game. Because
Yes.
law and order, the law system, legal system
Mhm.
and police, it's a game that they know.
Yes, and you do not.
You do not. They are the
You do not.
house. You are going you would never go to Vegas if the odds were stacked against you, and like it's just you at a table full of, dealers. It's like
Yeah.
that. It's like so anyway.
Yeah.
But it basically
Anyways,
what happens
those are the
is
things.
what?
Yeah, I
You
said
get
that's
back
the
to things?
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, Misty gets these guys to be like, take a full fucking 180, assholes. Take a full fucking 180 and you're in. Look at yourselves in the mirror at the end of the day and be like, oh, I really fucked up because this person was victimized and brutalized and you treated her like goddamn garbage. Anyway, so it's like, they get to arrest Michael Mueller. They already did. I mean, like they get to try Michael Mueller. Basically he gets 40 years in prison and she gets to face him and say, at least in her mind or whatnot in real life, the things she wants to say, which is that,
Denise
she's
does,
taking
not
back
Misty.
her power. Yes, Denise does it. Yes. And, which is great. Again, Denise had a history of sexual trauma and people not taking her seriously or believing her. And it's not just her, it's a whole, it's all of us. It's a lot of people. But for Denise specifically, this is a redemption story at the end of the day for her. That's what I'm taking as this docuseries, especially at the end of the episode. So we're having a lot of Erin Quinn being like, she's the strongest person I know. What ends up happening for them is they get married, they end up having 2 children. two beautiful girls, and they seem to be a lot of loving and peace within their lives now. You know, Aaron and her had a conversation where she had to be like, when she got out, she had to be like, "Can I come see you? And also, you know, do you think of me as being like a victim?" And he said no. We also were found out that the night that this all happened, they had a final conversation deciding that Aaron was going to stop caring or thinking about Andrea and devote himself to Denise. And of course, that's like a real fucked up what happens. And so he decides to just marry her. You know, he marries her. They live very happily. Again, he's like, "You're very, very strong." Um, Anything? What else in this part
I guess
happens?
they don't ever tie up what happened to Andrea. Andrea is not a part of this documentary.
Yes.
This documentary, I don't think, was well done, truthfully. So
Yeah, I agree.
that's
I
part of
agree.
our shtick with this is that it's say American Nightmare. It's not really. They needed to give us more about Matthew Mueller. I thought they should have gone more into his life and what was about him. It was centered about this around this couple, and I would have wanted more about it to be centered around him or something.
I don't want it to be centered around him because I think it's fine if it's a redemption story, but I do agree that I would have loved, first of all, I would have loved to have his mother. Could you imagine that person? I would just like, why was your son like this? Did you have you already known your son was like this? Also, like, what did I can't we go back to his military records? What did he have PTSD for? I also want to know. I want to go back to Harvard. These are huge things. Like, I think that there are probably teachers at Harvard and or things that are in his military record to be like, how the fuck did this monster happen? I mean, it's a monster.
Yes,
That's
that's what I
you know,
mean. More
American
about Matthew
Monster.
Mueller. Yeah.
Okay, if this was called American Monster, it could be about that, and I understand it because it
Yes.
is, you know. And also
Yes.
another whole horrible thing about Matthew fucking or Michael Mueller,
Mm-mm, Matthew.
is that for all intents, what
Matthew
is it,
Mueller.
Matthew?
Mhm.
Okay, Matthew Miller. For all intents and purposes, he has the world by the tail. You know, like he is a white, attractive enough male who went to the, you know, was in the army and got whatever benefits from there, which is
Marine.
great. I'm so. And by the way, I think that if you don't think that you're, I don't think that it's I think it's a beautiful thing that if anyone enlists in service, Michael, he's a whole other fucking person, or Matthew, whatever his name is. But at the same time, I'm not saying that like the privilege was that he went to the service. He did the service. It can be very devastating for some people mentally. Obviously, it was for him. For some reason, he goes to Harvard, goes and gets his law degree, which is all very fucking hard. And so there's so much to be asked about that situation, and we're not given anything. We're not giving again anything for Andrea. Like not even like Andrea wouldn't talk to us. How come do we even get that? How come we don't get like an Andrea wouldn't even talk to us? Well, obviously she won't, but could you give us like something about her? I mean, Jesus Christ, you brought this person up. She's the ghost in the goddamn room. I can't even believe how
Yeah.
much we don't know about her. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't done as well as it needed to be done, and maybe Netflix isn't the place for it. Like when was the last time we saw a really good docuseries? I can't. It's like Joe, what should we do? Hey, Cool Cat and Kittens. What's that one called? Joe Exotic, Tiger King.
Tiger King,
When's the
1 billion
last
years
time? I
ago.
mean, do we need
We're
to
too
do
late.
Tiger King again? Is it too
It'll
late? Is
cost
it
me.
3 years 4 years too late?
We'll go on Patreon only. Maybe I don't know.
Oh my
Oh, my
gosh.
loves, but we got to this end. We wish the best for everyone. They got 2.5 million. Okay.
Oh yes, they sued.
They sue finally.
And
I
that's
wanted them
all
to
they
get
got.
more. I
Vallejo
wanted them to get
police
more.
must be poor.
I
They
also
should
wanted
have
to get
gotten
more
way more.
because the FBI, I'm like, sue the FBI, sue that guy, sue Colonel Mustard and sue the
Yeah,
FBI, honey,
yeah,
and get
yeah.
more money so you can share it. Okay.
Mhm.
But that's all
They
that
put
happened.
his phone on airport mode when they knew that the kidnappers were going to contact him about Denise. They put
They could have
Aaron's
saved her. Yeah.
phone, they could have saved her, and they put Aaron's phone on airport mode when he was with the police. So, like,
That's 5 million. If someone rate that,
that's
like,
yeah,
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 that's
that's
5
10
million.
million. They could
Come on.
they
Come on.
Anywho, so and apparently the chief of police was like, get that bitch to when they
You
put her out to the as a hoax 48 hours, not even 48 hours, 24 hours after she was gone, they were saying that she was a hoax. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for being here with us. You can watch it if you want to.
Oh, you brought up one good point though. You also said, yeah, why didn't they give more about that burn the bitch moment if you're gonna even keep it or whatever? There's just like it's so funny for this episode 2 was so long for there not to be there should have been more in episode 2. Anyway.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, you guys. So if you want to see the visuals of what you're listening to right now, you can join us on patreon.com/DocuSweeties for $10 a month, where you have exclusive content, including a live very first Monday of the month, which is this Monday coming up. If you are interested in that, please join us on patreon.com/DocuSweeties. If you cannot do that, Chris will tell you the free ways that you can support us. Chris?
Well, you can go to your social medias and follow us at DocuSweeties on Instagram, at DocuSweeties on TikTok, and at DocuSweeties one on
One?
X. We have a Facebook group called the DocuSweeties Podcast Facebook group. Other than that, thank you so much for listening. If you haven't yet, give us 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts and maybe a helpful review if you liked it. Not
Alrighty.
not American Nightmare. Us.
Okay.
We're American Dreams.
We're your dream, sweeties. Girl,
When I
thems
was in
will make you.
when I was in college, I used to smoke Cherry Dreams. They were like cherry flavored cigarros. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.